Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roslyn Wanjiko. What we do here, personal development, relationship and spiritual wellness matters. And first of all guys, I just want to appreciate you all that have been coming back here to watch my videos, to engage with my content. Kindly keep doing that, and most importantly, if you have not subscribed and you've been watching, kindly do so. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it helps me also as a content creator to reach more people, and also to see the value, to just know that you enjoy my content. When you subscribe, it just tells me that truly you enjoy my content and you want us to grow. So today we are talking about matters relationship, and I know some of you love things to do with relationships. So if that is something you enjoy, please put a thumbs up already, even before we delve into the thick of things, you know. And I thought about a very interesting analogy some time back, and this is the right time, I guess, to talk about it when it comes to marriages and women. And we can easily say that I'm actually just giving premarital counseling for free on this episode. So if you're looking forward to getting married, if you're married and you're still trying to figure out your place as the woman, as the wife in the home, this is the right place for you. This is the right episode for you. And what we are talking about is basically the beauty and burden of a gown. Guys, every time there is a wedding, one of the biggest investments that a bride wants to make is selecting a good gown, a beautiful gown. A gown that when she's adorned in, she will look angelic. And apart from her sourcing for a beautiful gown, in fact, the bride is always ready to spend a dime on her gown because it's a one-time thing. And apart from her sourcing for a beautiful gown, the crowd, the congregants, you know, in the church, they also look forward to seeing the bride adorned in that beautiful gown. And so does the groom. We all look forward to that. And one thing we fail to understand is that a gown is not an ordinary dress. You know, it's not just that one dress you will wear in 2 minutes. You will actually, people will actually tell you that if you're a bride and you're wearing your gown, then you have people who actually help you wear your gown, because it's beautiful, yes, but it really requires a lot. You have corsets in there just to look perfect in that gown. If, for example, you have a body hugging gown, if you have a balloon kind of gown, then there are also things that you have to put on inside so that it balloons the way it's supposed to, you know. So there's a lot that goes into sourcing rather for a gown. There's a lot that goes into wearing that gown, and there's a demeanor in which you should carry yourself with when it comes to just having that gown on you, right? So today we want to talk about the intricate details of what that means for you in marriage, because that is the best analogy to use while describing marriage for a person who's just getting into marriage. Now guys, do we start with the good news or the bad news? You tell me. But I think let's start with the bad news, rather the responsibilities, and then end up with the good news, because we want to end on a high note. So when I talk about the beauty and the burden of a gown, I'm simply talking about the responsibilities that go into being a wife. What are we looking forward to? What are we thinking about when we are getting ourselves into the title wife? I mean, Proverbs 31 will describe it so well. I don't think most people really read, you know, with intentionality, because what Proverbs 31 talks about when it comes to being a wife and what we hear out here is that there are two different stories, you know. So go and read that first of all. And the simplest way, first of all, that a wife is described is being a helper. So we are going to start with just a wife being a helper. And who is a helper? Most of the times when we think about helping, you need to remember as you get into marriage that helping does not come from a place of strength. Helping comes from a place of weakness. So you're helping where there is need, right? You're helping where there is a little bit of weakness. And I know every human being has weaknesses, but when we think about helper, I don't think we pay much attention to what are we really helping. It's not rosy when it comes to helping. It takes sacrifice, it takes intentionality. So as a wife, it's good to get into marriage with the mentality of helping from a place of weakness. So when you go and decide to help, you need to remember every time you want to get, tired, every time you want to give up, every time you want to question your why, you want to remember that helping is not, you're not doing it because you're not doing it to benefit yourself per se, but you're doing it to benefit the other person. At the end of the day, it might benefit you both because this is a family you're starting. But when you think about helping, you need to think about helping letting the other person grow from a place where they couldn't help themselves. And when you think about it that way, it will be so easy for you to pour into the cup of your husband, the cup of your spouse, without necessarily feeling indifferent. Remember, they might have certain weaknesses that you had not seen coming, but that is the joy. That is the joy that at the end of the day, you're doing something that they could not do for themselves. If it's in managing finances, for example, if it's in organizing your home, if it's, just think about it. Every time you're doing something that you feel like your partner does not do so well, remember that is why you're there. That is the difference you make. Otherwise, if you were to go and find everything perfect, then at some point you would feel useless. At some point you would feel like you make no impact. So when it comes to being a helper in that home, please remember, you're not going to help a place that's perfect. You're going to help an imperfect person, and therefore it might feel like a burden initially, but once you understand that role, then you start enjoying it. Now let's talk about the burden that you have to carry, number 2, and that's in bearing children. Remember, this is a responsibility that was given to women and women only. See, the man is the seed carrier, but at the end of the day, the woman is the one who will have to carry that seed and make it blossom into a fruit that you're going to enjoy and help your family enlarge. Remember, this is not a simple task, guys. As much as we have been given the grace for it, this is something that you have to think about as you get into marriage. This is something that you have to discuss with your partner before you get into marriage, because remember, you could get into it without the thought of having children, and once you're in it, you start rethinking, So if you were to come for premarital counseling, and this is what I was talking about, this being a free premarital counseling class for you, let's call it a crash program, you need to think about the aspect of children. At the end of the day, it's God who gives children, but the fact that you don't know anyway if you can carry them, but if you're able, if you're capable, if God has blessed your womb in that way, remember, you're the one who's gonna have to carry this burden and blessing at the same time. So in that case, if you're ready for it mentally, then it will not cost your relationships. Remember, there are things in the relationship, like we said in church, people see the beauty of that gown, but you're the one who knows the heaviness of that gown at the end of the day. You're the one who will have to carry the heaviness of that family. But the fact that your mind is ready for it, that you're going to be bearing children, that you're going to be nurturing these children most of the time, actually, then it helps you take up that responsibility with a positive attitude. Remember, all we are looking for here is getting into this institution with a positive attitude, getting into this institution with as much information as possible. And one thing I forgot to say in the beginning of this video is that you have to choose with intentionality, guys. You have to choose your partner with intentionality so that you're able to carry this responsibility gracefully. Remember, if you choose because of pressure, if you choose because of timelines, if you choose because it's you know, a day-to-day activity that people take up, you know, or a rite of passage rather, then it might be too heavy on you. It might be too heavy across on you as a woman. So if you chose right, and if you chose intentionally, choosing right does not mean making a perfect choice, because there's no human being that is perfect. Even you as a woman are not perfect. Choosing right means that you took the right steps, you took accountability. You know, the people that matter and the people that have a voice over your life helped you make the right choice, because you gave information, you gave the right information, you are open about it, and also you prayed about it. So once that choice is made, maybe I needed to make that point clear, then now we can get into having to take up responsibilities for this one person and making a family out of it. So that's the other point that we were talking about. Bearing children, it's your responsibility, and it's good to know that you're the one who will have to take up those 9 months, you know, and gracefully so. And it's not an easy thing, but it's also a blessing, because imagine, in fact, I think for a woman, it's not just about the womb that is in your stomach, right? It's also, you are just basically a womb, because again, there is the aspect of carrying the vision of the family. See, the man may be the seed bearer. He might be the one who's holding that vision. But at the end of the day, you will have to carry that vision for him, you know, make it fruitful for him. How? In praying for him, in giving ideas, in empowering him, you know. And sometimes it will not be easy. It will not be an easy road to do that. Sometimes they will give you ideas and they look too far-fetched and they look too complicated for you, but that's where you're there. They needed a partner, and that is why you need to remember that there needs to be a difference between when they were all alone and when you came into their lives. So every time you want to feel like you're tired in supporting their vision, for example, you need to remember that that's what makes them want you even more. The fact that you're making a difference, and making a difference does not come easy. It takes a lot of effort, it takes time, it takes sacrifice. So carrying a vision is the other burden of a gown, you know. And gown here is symbolic. Gown here just symbolizes marriage, the whole marriage thing. You know, when people see beauty out there, make sure you're putting in the work inside the house. You know, you're praying for your spouse, you're supporting your spouse in one way or the other. For example, I know that people say that the man is the provider, but sometimes in the home you find that both are doing the job. Why? Because your family needs to work. And actually what most people don't tell you is that people help each other in one way or the other. You know, when you see a very responsible man out there, there's a lot of work that has been put in by the woman also to make sure that things are working right. Finances is just an example. There are so many other things where you can help your husband that people would otherwise discourage you from doing. So a wise woman is the one that builds their home quietly, and then the beauty is seen out there, just like we see the gown. And not everyone was in the picture while that gown was being put on. So that's on you to build capacity. And how do you build capacity? Make sure there is accountability, or rather there are people in your circle that help you discuss such things. And you do not discuss such things with everybody. Just make sure you have a select few who understand the concept of marriage for women, and who are able to speak life into you, who are able to speak positivity into you, who are able to speak value into the aspect of being a woman, because it's not an easy thing. Remember, you're also working on your goals. You're also working on your vision. So you have to build capacity. You have to enlarge a little bit more than you have been doing as a single person, so that you can accommodate not just your decisions, but also the decisions of this person that you have said yes to. Now, there's also the beauty of that gown, or rather marriage, and you being a woman and being in that relationship. And the beauty is, imagine you have molded this person at the level that God has enabled you to. This person also helps you grow. Remember, you're not doing all the work by yourself, but there's also this person and what they put in. You know, they're going out there, you know, to provide. They don't just provide financially, but they also provide emotionally. Remember, at the beginning of this video, we said choose well. So I want to imagine that the partner you're with is intentional, you know, emotionally, they're intentional spiritually, they're intentional financially in supporting your goals. So as much as you're giving a lot of yourself into this marriage, there's also the fact that you have a partner working with you, that even while making your decisions right now, you have someone who is also putting in their contribution into the decisions you used to make as a single person. So there's that. And imagine now you have, maybe God has given you the privilege to bear children, and now you're building a whole family and you can see them thriving. It is such a noble act. It is such an achievement. It is such a blessing to see your family grow under your umbrella, because naturally the woman is created to nurture, you know. So if you're able to nurture with intentionality, with grace and acceptance, you know, if there's one thing that helps in things to grow and thrive, is acceptance. If you're not well informed, you know, about the things that go into the growth of a marriage, the growth of a business, then it might affect the beauty and the blossoming of whatever it is that you're working on. So what we are saying here is that there is beauty that comes with a family growing under your wings. There is pride that comes with people seeing your spouse, with people seeing your children, with people seeing your home grow in every aspect, be it spiritually, be it financially, be it emotionally. There is an admiration when you go out there. People see that beauty, and actually now you become a vessel. You know, people get to learn from you. People get to, you know, drink from your cup even without you having to put in any effort. So there is that. There is the aspect of you being a nurturer, and actually people seeing that from you. You also get to, for example, if you came together and you share a vision. You know, sometimes people get married and everybody has their direction to take, but they somehow find a way of supporting each other. But there are people also who come together and they share the same vision. If you put your effort into it as a woman, and the man puts whatever effort God has enabled them to put into, for example, leadership, and you continue and carry that vision, the growth that comes is usually evident. You know, for example, you have seen family businesses and how beautiful they get once they are established, you know. So it's basically just about partnership. There is beauty in partnership. So as a woman, please don't feel drained, don't feel burnt out just because of the responsibility that you have been given. Remember, there is grace for you, and remember there is always help out there. Don't do it by yourself. If you feel like things are a bit overwhelming, just make sure you have people who are walking this journey with you, so that every time you want to give up, you remember why you started in the first place. You remember the responsibility that came with that beauty. That beauty, I mean, most of things that are considered beautiful don't come from beautiful environments. As a matter of fact, they come from places of sacrifice. Just think about any beautiful thing. It comes from a place of sacrifice. It comes from a place of pain sometimes. But when you think about the bigger picture, when you think about the end goal, you remember to stay on course. So this is my call to everyone who desires to be a wife, my call to everyone who desires to come into marriage. Remember, when you wear that gown, when you get into marriage, people might see the beauty outside, but you need to be ready for the responsibilities. It's manageable, so to speak. And if you have the right partners or the right friends, for example, not a big circle, just a small circle for accountability. If you have God by your side and you believe in him, then this is doable. So I hope this episode has been helpful to you. I hope you've taken a tip or two. Kindly, if you're married, kindly give us tips also down there for a lady, a woman who's looking forward to get married, and also those that are married but are feeling overwhelmed, are feeling tired, because indeed it's not an easy task, but with intentionality and understanding, then it becomes a beautiful place to be. Thank you for staying with us. Kindly remember to subscribe, to like, and also to share with other people so they can get this good information. See you on the next one. Bye bye.